Damn dirty.
Yo, dude, this is Blake from Green Knuckles Lacrosse. On this week's Fogo Friday, we are going over my updated stringing pattern for the Nike CEO. This will be head number 2 on my updated stringing pattern for all my face-off heads. This one definitely was a priority on my updated stringing pattern. It should have been my first video, but I think some kid commented saying that he needed an updated stringing pattern on the STX Dual. But anyway, the update is here. It's a lot better pattern than the old one that I had. It's a lot easier, and it's actually legal. Like mentioned before in the updated STX Dual stringing pattern video, it's illegal to have 2 sidewall strings on one sidewall. So if you like that old pattern that I had that did have 2, you could just use one big string and just loop it. But I wouldn't recommend doing that anymore. I would recommend switching over to this updated pattern. It's gonna be a pretty quick video today, so let's just get her started. Okay, first we need to address the cons of the Nike CEO, and they're pretty obvious. The first one being the cracking of the sidewall holes, and the second one being the warping of the head. So if I can remember, I believe it's holes 3 through 7 from the bottom of the head. That's the range where the CEO tends to crack the most. Personally, that's where I've had all my cracks from. The highest one up being was the 7th hole from the bottom, and the lowest one was the 3rd. And with my old pattern, I created that bridge system that skipped holes 7 through 3. But now with this new updated stringing pattern, you don't have to skip any holes whatsoever. And that eliminates the first problem with the head. We don't have to skip any holes because they were more likely to crack than others. The second part of the head would be the warping, and with any face-off head, it's going to warp. So your best bet is to keep the knots to the outside of the head to prevent the ball from getting stuck in the back of the head. Long story short, this is going to be the exact stringing style as the STX Dual's updated pattern. However, the main difference with the CEO and the Dual is the CEO is more of an offensive-minded head, which means that there's more sidewall holes, which means you have more options of the pocket you can string in your head. So for this video, I am using my black Nike CEO, and I know it's kind of a bad head color to choose because of my background, but bear with me. And the mesh I'm using is STX Dry Mesh. Stuff is unbelievable. Definitely recommend trying this out. Super thin, it strings a great pocket, and definitely in my top 3 for favorite pieces of mesh. And a special shout out to Sesh Strings. Check him out on Instagram. He's a great stringer. He's the one that came up with this stringing pattern. I'm just taking his pattern and kind of modifying it to the way I would string my heads. Phenomenal stringer. Make sure you check him out on Instagram. Since the channel is strung in a pretty standard way, I went ahead and strung it already. So what we have here, from the top string knot down, we have top string knot, sidewall knot, a skip, SI, skip, SI, SI. And before I go any further, if you don't know how to string an SI, a 1 SI, or a stacked SI, I highly recommend checking out East Coast Dye's channel. They have a great video series on how to string basic knots. Make sure you check those videos out first before you try stringing this one. But if you know those knots already, let's just go ahead and get started. So we're going to do an outside SI. Outside meaning we're going to string it to the outside of the head just like the STX Dual. But we're going to string it as if we were stringing a normal SI. So we're going to come down through the mesh first. Then going to wrap around this strut, and we're skipping this hole right here. We're coming on to the next one. Pull that tight. Then our next knot is going to be a stacked SI. So come on to the first one and the second. We're not going to skip any sidewall holes here. Then our next knot is going to be an SI. Outside SI to be exact. And we are going to skip this hole and then come through this one. Then our last outside knot is going to be a 1 SI. The way we're going to finish this pocket off is we're not going to go through any more mesh. We're going to come in through the next sidewall hole and then come back out through the final sidewall hole and knot off. There you have it. This is what the pocket turned out to be like. I was really happy with how it turned out. Really nice channel going on. It's pretty tight. I don't like to use shooters for my CEOs because of that face flex. It already causes the ball to throw kind of down. So I kind of rely on having a tight channel up here and then having the knots be on the outside of the head so the ball doesn't get stuck. So one last and final rundown on the sidewall pattern. I have a knot or a tie down, skip, SI, skip, SI, SI, skip, outside SI, stacked SI, skip, SI, skip, 1 SI, and the last 2 holes are considered tied downs. Alright guys, that wraps it up for the updated stringing pattern for the Nike CEO. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any questions on my updated pattern for the CEO or any questions in general, be sure to leave them in the comment section below. And if you have any future video ideas on what our next Fogo Friday should be, go ahead and leave them down there as well. Also, I will be doing a Q&A for one of our videos. In order to have a Q&A, I need your guys' help. Anything you want to know, hopefully Faceoff related, just please keep it clean. I got some young viewers on here. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Check us out on Instagram at GreenKnucklesLacrosse. And be sure to leave a question down in the comment section for our Q&A video. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys next week. Till then, kids, get them dirty.